get Easton in here. All right, milk. We can turn the lights on. Good idea, Court. All right. Easton and I are gonna make some pancakes this morning. We got the milk, butter, eggs. We're gonna be making some of these Kodiak cakes here. I've been a fan of these lately. I was kind of reading the box earlier and found this little part right here. See if I'll read it for you here. So it says Grizzly Bear and Wildlife Foundations. We want to keep the frontier wild for future generations, so we donate part of every purchase to foundations that protect grizzly bears and other wildlife habitats around the country. So that sounds great to me. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research though, and see what kind of organizations these are going to, because it sounds good, but could very well be going to an organization that's kind of not doing exactly what we want them to be doing. So, gonna have to look into that, but for now, I'll finish eating this box of pancakes. These are cool because they're made with whole grains, and you can pack them pretty good with protein. Right here it says there's 14 grams of protein in there, and if you add milk and an egg, which is what we're gonna be doing today, you can get 21 grams of protein out of a pancake here. So. Yeah. Butter. Yep. Look at that. Pancakes. They look yummy. Good. Should we put an egg in? You want to crack it?
Yeah. It's cooking.
That one's cracked already. You gotta do this one. Okay. Crack, crack, crack. Good job. See? Look at the eggs. You want to mix?
Are you freaking kidding me?
What?
Like all these headbands that I wanted are sold out.
Good job. Look at you. Mix and mix and mix. What did you say? Did you want a baby pancake or Mickey Mouse? You want Mickey Mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, Easton loves butter. We've been out of syrup for a while, so I've been just making sunny side up eggs and making real little pancakes and just kind of dunking them in the yolk, which is good too. My uncle makes some maple syrup, so I gotta get some from him here. Okay, should we make Mickey Mouse? That was not a good Mickey Mouse. What's that? You cooking? Yeah?
Cookie.
Careful. Flip? What's that? Bear? That did not turn out. Do you want it? It's hot.
Cut up.
You want to cut it up?
Yeah.
Let's let it cool down. If 5-second rule. Mmm. I like to melt some butter in the cast iron before I put some pancakes in. I just let it, the pan kind of heat up, get warm a little bit on its own before I put the butter in. Then once the butter's in there, then I can put the pancakes in. I keep it on real low, like 3 power, right in between 2 and 4 on my stove top here. That's just what I've found to be the best. It doesn't burn the pancakes. It's a little bit slower, you know, than having the heat up a little higher, but
Daddy.
they turn out good, don't they? Yummy.
Come on, baby.
More pancakes.
Come
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Uh-oh. How many? How many pancakes? Huh? Butter? You want butter? Yeah. Woo! What's that?
Gobi. Gobi. Anna.
You want to put that on the table?
Yeah. Go.
Oh! You want more? Trying to do some research here on these Kodiak cakes and their conservation program. It says they're pretty well connected with an organization called the Vital Ground Foundation, and I'm trying to figure out who their partners are and what exactly they're trying to do. Looks like they've done a lot of really good stuff for habitat conservation. They've, you know, bought some chunks of land for bear habitat. Trying to create conflict-prone grazing areas outside of Yellowstone National Park. It's hard to tell what, you know, who they're aligning with here. So this sounds good to me here. The very bottom of the page, they have Vital Ground works to protect and restore habitat for wild grizzly populations and ecosystems where the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has designated grizzly bear recovery zones and where state wildlife management agencies have placed an emphasis on conserving the species. So to me that sounds like, you know, they're really only doing habitat and conservation work in areas where grizzlies don't have a lot of a foothold, you know, versus these portions in the Rockies where there's so many grizzlies that obviously need to be managed. And to me it sounds like they're you know, as far as sportsmen go, they're kind of aligning with hunters, and they agree that the bears need to be managed just as well as they need to be, you know, conserved in some areas, which is good. But I'll keep doing some research and I'll let you guys know about Vital Ground here, and if I'm gonna keep eating these Kodiak cakes or not. So I looked into that Vital Ground Foundation a little bit. And from what I can tell, I had to do quite a bit of digging, but it sounds like, a good thing for conservation, good thing for grizzly bears, and anyone who enjoys them. So that would include hunters. It sounds like Vital Ground doesn't really have a stance on the delisting or listing of grizzly bears on the endangered species list because they're just a land trust. So all they're trying to do is make good habitat for the bears, and just trying to connect basically land from strongholds like Yellowstone so that the bears can naturally kind of migrate out of those areas on their own. Um, I'm gonna post an article that I read by them on the video here, so you guys can go check it out for yourself. If you know anything about it, I'd like for you guys to comment. I'll put it on Instagram too, and we'll see what we can find out about this foundation here.